there wasn't just being informed and like receiving information. There was that also, but that wasn't the real substance of it. The substance of it for me was, um, in many ways, I could feel you in a sense whispering, right? You evoked an intimacy, right? In in the saying of what you were saying. And there's something about that evocation that felt like was also like exemplifying in a certain sense the matters in which you were addressing. And that's why I think I think that's why I say for me, and I know this is not for everybody in terms with Heidegger, but for me, it's the mystical element, right? You know, you put that in quotes, like the mystical elements in Heidegger. And those quotes are so interesting, right? Like that I think was for me is what really drew me into Heidegger. And particularly in that way, where on one level, there's like what he was saying, right? The content of what he was saying. But then there's what it took to understand what he was saying, right? There's the walk that you had to go on, and the tree you had to climb, and the leap you had to make, and the gestures, like that. That doing that over and over and over again with Heidegger, I continually being left with, I was like, whether or not I actually understood what he said, right? Which is always kind of a mystery to me. Do I really understand what he's saying? There's something inexhaustible in what he's pointing to, right? But I get this sense of that there's some kind of almost a something transforming of myself in the just the walk that I had to go around, right? Some sense of that, and having a something carried with me from that, right? That that goes beyond just kind of knowing stuff, knowing new things, and more like it evokes a kind of way to see those things, right, which were being addressed in other contexts that I carry with me. And so there's a, and I was wondering if you can speak to that maybe a little bit, because I really get the sense that you're doing many things in both the things that you're drawing out in Heidegger, but like also the way that you're drawing it out, the economy of language, the sense of intimacy, the sense of being in a really personal conversation, like taking a walk with you. All that kind of really comes through in this book, which I really appreciated.
Well, I think your impressions are right on. I mean, they completely are in sync with what I'm trying to do in this book and really in all of my work, whether I'm lecturing or talking with students or writing books like this. And and I think you said it so well. Again, for your listeners there, you sent me a few reflections
Hmm.
on wonder or on becoming attuned with being. And I just want to read something because I think you say this so perfectly well. You say here, this wonder, properly understood, is not the affective astonishment of the rare or the overwhelming, but the silent event of being disclosing itself in what is most ordinary.